John, what were you, Sebastian and Don? My name's Don, not John. Sebastian and Don, what were your first impressions of each other when you first started working out together, like a couple weeks into training? Wait, how did we?
I got this. I know this. All right. So I was in LA and I was supposed to come to New York. I started working with this other guy and he goes, I know the guy you gotta call. You gotta call Don Saladino. And I go, oh, okay, great. Because I was coming to New York to start the play, Picnic, right? On Broadway. And we were gonna talk. And I got on the phone with you and you were like, all right. Okay, so yeah, listen, man. And you were like, really listen, man, if you really want to do this, then I think great. But look, if you're going to be like, 4 days in, and then like Friday, you're going to go out there and like drink a bottle of vodka, it's just not going to work. Like you're going to have to, I either want a 7-day commitment or not at all. Like you were very upfront about it. You were like, do you actually really want to do this?
Right.
Are you ready for it? And do you know what it entails? And I always remember that because we were on the phone, and then I came to New York.
Yeah, and then I remember asking you about the role, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm pretty much naked most of the show." And I'm like, "Well, what's the show?" And you're like, "The entire show." And I'm like, "Oh." And then I remember going and seeing you there, and listen, you freaking killed it, man. It was you, it wasn't me. Good stuff. How many years ago was that now?
That was 2013, right? No, yeah, probably 2012, 2013, honestly. Might have been 10 years ago, Don.
That long. Oh, and wait, I didn't answer mine. So my opinion of Sebastian when he reached out to me, I actually do remember this now. I was like, oh my God, one of these guys right now. The guy's gonna really, like, I know it's gonna happen. He's just gonna like show off, blowing me off, stinking of booze. It's like typical. No, I'm kidding. No, it was. Listen, it was. Listen, I gained one of my very close friends out of it, and it's been a fun decade, and I'm looking forward to many more great times. I love you, man.
We're gonna keep going.
So Courtney, to everyone. First, Sebastian. First, thank you. And guys, we're gonna take a few more questions. We've got 8 minutes left. Seb, thank you I appreciate your time. I know travel's been nuts, so thank you for it. So for Sebastian, first, thank you. You've affected my life more than you'll ever know. For my question, Donna's exercise is called Spider-Man and Superman's. So what exercise would you like him to name after Bucky? Ooh, we can name an exercise after you. Everyone makes this shit up anyway. I mean, let me name something, right?
An exercise after Bucky.
Legs of glory. Like something like some squat movement, like a deep sumo squat. We can call like Bucky's legs of glory. Something like that.
Yeah, it's got to be something with like the stare or like the arm or whatever.
Maybe it's lower body because you just hate it. maybe you'll have a metal leg in your next movie. Maybe have him transition from the iron arm to like a metal leg. Like that could be cool. Superpowers. It's like a pogo stick. Like you could shoot out in the outer space or something crazy.
Obviously, it would have to be a curl of some sort. Like that's what I'm saying.
And why not? Okay, I'll let you choose it. It is named after you, so you can
Bucky's
choose.
curl.
Bucky's curl. It's terrible. Let's see what else. Let's take a couple more. That's so. So Charlotte's asking a good question. Hi, Sebastian. So my biggest obstacle seems to be myself and my ability to self-motivate when it comes to exercising. I'm in awe of the dedication you have when it comes to challenge of physically preparing for acting roles. How do you motivate yourself, and what advice would you give to help me motivate myself? Take a few more.
Well, I mean, I think I feel like it starts with just recognizing that being afraid is a good thing. Like it just has to start there. And just sometimes for me, whenever I'm scared of something, I actually feel like it's a good sign now, because it just means that I have to figure something out there, and I have to kind of go down that path. So the same way you think of like you always hear people talk about anxiety, how it's similar to when you're excited and adrenaline. I think you think of fear the same way. Like if you're if you're afraid of something, just know that something's going on. You're alive, like in your body, and like just like think about that a little more, and don't think it's a bad thing. It might mean that that's just like where you got to go next.
I love this question coming in. That's a great answer. Sammy Marie asked, Sebastian, what is your comfort character, show, or movie? Something that you put on when you're having a bad day that never fails to make you feel better. Tone. No, Shim is my comfort character. I go on social media and I just follow him and just start laughing. And then
I think mine is Julia Roberts.
Really? Pretty Woman. I love Pretty Woman. She's phenomenal.
I could watch Notting Hill any day of the week. Like it's like I'll never feel like it's always going to be a good one. I would say, yeah, maybe that one.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. I think she's a rock star. She seems to be like out of all the.
Oh my God. One of the most amazing.
Yeah. Everyone's always in awe about her. Like you could talk to the biggest name in Hollywood and she's like, oh my God, Julia Roberts. She's like, unbelievable. Merle from Germany, not from Estonia. Merle from Germany. Hi, Seb. I'd like to ask you if you have any tips on how to get over social anxiety, especially when going to the gym. It's dragging my fitness journey down as I'm just really scared of people judging me. Thank you so much for being on this call. It's a great question.
You know, if you go on YouTube, there are, and you just type in like motivational speeches, there are all these unbelievable hour and a half like long compilations that people have made of just everybody quotes, speeches put to music, and it's so inspiring. It's so inspiring. Like literally it almost feels like you're going into battle. And so that's what I do. And so sometimes I just listen to that and there's something there that happens that I feel like it motivates. So try that. Go to YouTube, put on motivational speeches and see what comes up.
Perfect. We're going to take two more questions and we're going to call it. Nikki Macris said, how did performing your own stunts change your fitness routine? Did you incorporate agility exercises like boxing or add any gymnastics drills? It's a good question. You did a lot of fight training, didn't you? I remember you doing a lot of sports.
Yeah, but I would stick to sort of the gym routine, and then the cardio became the fight training.
Yeah, that fight training was brutal. Like what you guys were doing, that was impressive.
Because that one just needs endurance, and you're just doing that all over again. You're just sweating constantly, so it's like that becomes a cardio. So we just keep lifting.
Yep. Last question, and I like this one. This has not been asked. Stephanie Dana asked. Question for Seb, because you have to change your body so drastically for your roles, do you ever feel like you disconnect with what your normal body type is? I think that's a good question.
Yeah, constantly, but I also just don't really think about like what my body type is. I mean, I don't even know what my body type is. What are body types? It's like something we like invented.
Yeah.
It's like.
I think you're also used to it. I think what people don't understand is I think you're also used to the fact that when you're prepping for a role, you've got to learn a script, but you also have to recreate a physique for that script. That's part of your script, right? Like
yeah.
Right.
No, for sure. But I also like now, look, I'm going to be 40 in August. It's like you start to think this way. You want your body's like this commodity, it's like it's literally it's a thing that works to try to keep you alive. Like it's that crazy. So I'm part of me is like I want to protect this thing in a way, so you have to at some point start thinking like, what are you putting into it? Because you want it to last, you want it to be around, so be kind to it.
Right. And I think, and I'm going to end on this, I think what I'm most proud of seeing your journey in fitness. Let's not call it fitness. Let's just call it health and wellness, because Tone likes using those words. Obviously,
health and wellness.
Well, yeah, it's pretty awesome. But I think it was like I think you start getting really good at this when that maturity sets in, and you realize that if you have to skip a day, or if you have to have a bad meal, it doesn't all go to crap. It's like, okay, I did what I did. I missed a workout. I had a burger and fries. Like that one moment, guys, isn't going to define us.
No, you have to, first of all, you have to have burger and fries or whatever the equivalent for you of that is. Like the cake, the pizza, what you have to have that. You just have to kind of like plan it a little bit more. I mean, I guess like for me, that's what I think of doing, you know. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this Sunday, you know, when I'm like in that sort of like run that I don't want to be, I'm like, this Sunday I'm gonna have the chocolate chip thing, you know, like I'm just gonna
you
do
have
it,
to
you know?
You have to,
and you have to. You're not a robot, nor should you try, you know. But ask yourself sometimes, like when you're feeling those cravings, like, hey, like, why am I craving this right now? Do I actually want this, or is it just because like I'm bored, or is it because I'm like anxious, or is it because like you know, this is what it just try to become aware of where the triggers are, you know.
100%. So we're going to close out, guys. That was over an hour.
Here's another health and wellness.
Health and wellness.
2022.
I actually go back to, I went back to that post a few times just to listen to tone, and Shim is sick. Remember when he said that?
We got to do it. We got to go. Look, summer's coming. We got to go back to the city. We got to do something.
We're gonna get the group together. Listen, man, honestly, like you've been traveling like crazy, and everyone's so appreciative of you coming on.
Well, thank you guys. I mean, thank you for setting this up. Obviously, I mean, thanks for everybody that tuned in. Again, it's always nice when people want to hear and connect. So hopefully, some of this was helpful. I don't know.
No, it was very helpful, and it's my big ask from you every year. So like next year, we'll hopefully plan on doing our one a year. This is fantastic for the group. So thank you, man. Love you.
All right. I love you too.
I'll call you when I get back. Guys, thank you. Great call.
Thank you, Seb.
Be careful out there in the wild.
Thank you. Thank you, Sebastian.
All right, guys. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.